This portrait is nearly 2,000 years old, so why do I feel like I know who he is? This is a Roman period Egyptian mummy portrait. It dates to the Flavian period, the late 1st century AD. It belongs to a group colloquially known as Fayum portraits, due to the area in Egypt where many originated. A Fayum portrait is the colloquial title for a group of Roman Egyptian panel paintings that were attached to mummified bodies and meant to depict the faces of the deceased. In effect, it serves as a lifelike mask linking Egyptian burial traditions with the Greco-Roman portraiture tradition. We can surmise that it was painted by a local artisan trained in the Greco-Roman style. A lot of people associate the classical tradition not with realism, but with idealism. And that is so not the case here. We are seeing a lifelike portrayal of this individual. You have wrinkles, you have graying hair, you have a receding hairline. It's certainly not the Polycleton ideal of the male figure. I think there are a couple of factors that makes this Fayum portrait distinctive. First and foremost, I like to look at his coloring. He has these light hazel eyes that you don't see so often in the corpus of Fayum portraits. You see so many big dark eyes, and his hazel eyes are incredibly arresting. Second, many Fayum portraits depict garish, loud clothing, lots of jewelry, lots of accessories that kind of take the focus away from the individual and onto the accoutrements. The focus of this portrait is so much about the sitter and his internal kind of gravitas that I think it sets it apart from others. We're also seeing light and shadow for three-dimensionality. We're playing with perspective. We don't see this again until the Renaissance with Leonardo, with Raphael, with Hans Holbein the Younger, then with Rembrandt, and then later in the 20th century with Manet, Modigliani, Picasso, and most recently with artists like Francis Bacon, Lucian Freud, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and even in the 21st century with Kerry James Marshall and Jenny Saville. In many ways, this can be thought of as the birth of Western portraiture. The entire endeavor of modern portraiture has been to capture not just somebody's likeness, but their presence and their animation, their soul. And that's why he seems so familiar to us centuries later. We don't actually know who this sitter was, but I so wish we did. He appears older than your average sitter of a Fayum portrait, and that's evidenced by his graying hair and his lined forehead. It's also understood that these portraits were created for members of the local elite in Roman Egypt. We do know that he was also likely a man of means. For starters, mummification was expensive. I don't need to go into all the gruesome details, but there were a lot of materials associated with the embalming process. On top of that, he was able to commission a portrait solely for his own likeness, which would have added additional material costs. The reason why he looks so fresh and well-preserved is due to a number of factors. Firstly, we have the dry Egyptian climate, which certainly slows the decay of organic materials. Secondly, we have the mummification and burial environment itself, meaning that this would have been underground and protected. Thirdly, this is an encaustic painting, which means it was painted with hot beeswax mixed with organic pigment. That creates a very stable surface that's resistant to fading. We don't know whether these were painted from life or posthumously. A large group of Fayum portraits do depict children, younger individuals in this idealized manner. And you have to remember these were funerary portraits. They were meant to accompany a mummy into the afterlife. And why would then somebody commission a portrait of their child if they were still alive? And that thus points to a posthumous date. Then you have examples like this one, where the sitter is turned slightly to the left, and the artist seems to be playing with perspective. We also have a much older subject here, which makes me think that this example was painted from life. You feel like he is actually in the room with you, and it is crazy that he actually lived 2,000 years ago.